Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the GameDay Squad live Aussie rules show. I'm your host Cal, and joining me, I've got my full team with me this week. I've got Tom and I've got Kerm. Fellas, how are we?
Yeah, going great. Thanks, mate. It's good to be back. Had another absence on Monday, but yeah, we don't want to talk about the Swans game either. Just want to put that out there. We're
We
not talking
do.
about
That is 2 weeks in a row where your Swans have had something tragic happen on the weekend and you've not shown up to our
There is a
Monday
trend,
show.
Tom. There is a trend going on here, and it needs to be stopped, frankly.
that. I think I might do a Kevin Durant. I might be out of here.
Well, it is good to have you here because we will talk about that Swans game at some point, I'm sure, because we do want to chat and see how you were going on Saturday. But we are here because of our live show, because of Game Day Squad. So, as anyone's following the stream for the first time, Game Day Squad, brand new Australian fantasy footy platform. We've got an Aussie rules game and we've got a rugby league game as well. So, make sure you do check out everything. All the links should be in the descriptions below. But guys, we are going to change up our show this week. We don't have a community member or a special guest. So we're going to do some of the normal stuff. Kerm, you're going to run through the team news that we're expecting in a moment. We're going to run through our teams, how we're looking ahead of round 7's action. But this week, we're actually going to do a draft. And on the back of last week, we had some big players, some big old players, I should say, score big. So we're going to have a bit of fun and have a draft of over 33-year-olds, I believe. Or sorry, over 31, wherever we landed on that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Because we're a dynasty platform here at Game Day Squad, even the old guys still have value, and we want to showcase that. So before we get into any of that, Kerm, do you want to kick things off and tell us what we should be looking for with the team news?
Crystal ball team news. There's nothing better. Hopefully, I'll get some of these right this week. And I'm going to get the most painful one out of the way first. And it is the man who's close to my heart, Touk Miller. He's going to be out for a to-be-confirmed amount of time after suffering a knee injury last weekend, which is surely going to hurt a lot of GDS coaches out there. But in a selfish moment, it hurts me the most. So hopefully he's not on the sidelines for too long. Touk Miller, we need you out there sooner rather than later. But in better news, we have a trio of fantasy studs returning from serving their suspensions in Tom Green, Zach Merritt, and Will Day, which will boost a lot of coaches' squads out there. We've also got some positive injury news, which Jai Simpkin, Christian Salem, and Adam Sard, as well as Bailey Smith, are trending in the right direction and could be available for selection this week, which is, again, a massive boost for coaches out there who are hoping to get some of those guys back. Tom's boy, Tom Liberatore, has entered concussion protocols and won't be available for selection in round 7, which is a bit of a kick in the guts. And as well as Tom Liberatore, some primos worth watching the news for because of injury clouds is Rory Laird, Andrew Brayshaw, and Luke Davies-Uniacke, who could miss this week with some small injuries. They seem to be like they're going to be announced in the team list, but with injury clouds over all three of them, those three are ones to watch. And in some exciting dynasty news, Hawthorn are handing young guns, Josh Weddle and Max Ramsden, debuts this weekend. So that is very exciting for Hawthorn fans and coaches all across the country. So that is the crystal ball team news this week. Hopefully, again, some of those are correct. I'm sure I hit most of the most important ones there. But yeah, before we get into the team run through for the guys and myself, make sure to get your questions down below in the comments. We'll be answering them as the show goes along. We're keen to hear from you guys. We love having the community involved. So yeah, definitely get your questions down below in the comments and we'll be sure to answer as many as possible. But we'll get into our own team news now. Tom, take me through your team. What changes have you made going into round 7, mate?
Yeah, let's get right into it. Zeus Cannons looking to bounce back. Had a pretty rough week last week in terms of
good to see.
I was off the mark. A little bit. I went to Groove in the Moo in Canberra, so my head was in other places, and I played a silver Tom Green in my midfield. So that was checking that and knowing that we have a rolling lockout. There is no excuse. I should have been all over that, but yeah, we still didn't do horrible. All things considered, I think we had about 2,200 points, and we take that. Super excited looking at the team here. Lockie Weller's going to stay in the team, the silver and the defense. I am really feeling that Sam Doherty hole back there, though. I'm sure, like a lot of other people, I just really want Doherty back, but trying to make do for the meantime. Tom Green will be my new star in the midfield. I got a silver version of him. I've got Bont in there right now as well. I got a Petrarca on the bench. I'm actually umming and ahhing between the two. But with the beauty of the rolling lockout, I'm sure I'll make a last-second decision before a game starts. But yeah, pretty happy with the squad overall. And those forwards, gold pairing of Canelio and Taranto. Can't complain after last week, mate. They're looking mighty fine.
Yeah, they are. The one guy I want to talk about in your team, Tom, is Harry Sheasel. Are you scared about the Aaron Hall impact on him at all going into this week?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Saying if you're not scared, then you definitely should be, because we can see and we know how Aaron Hall can control the ball in that back line and how important he was, especially over the past couple of seasons for North. That's probably another one that I am looking at, and I might give it to him this week, but I'm not sure. Like, I definitely will be watching that with a very close eye, and we'll see how it plays out.
It seems like all across the board, people are giving Sheasel another week just because he has earned it, which is crazy to think for someone who's only going into his 7th game of footy. But he's had such a hot start. I think everyone's going to see how he goes. I'm very curious to see what happens to him if he has another dud week. If people, particularly on, what happens on the market, does his price start dropping off? Yeah, I'm really keen to seeing that one but hey, you've enjoyed having that Sheasel for now, Tom. Hopefully, I still can't get my hands on one, so I hope he starts to dip a bit.
Thanks, mate.
Kerm, I believe we're going to go on to your team next. You play in our champion competition, so it looks a little bit different to Tom's. Talk us through, what are you doing for the week? I see Will Day's already back in there.
Yeah, Will Day is back, and I wish I had a Sheasel to go forward with my team as well, but I do not. So yeah, Will Day slots straight back in. He's only coming off a suspension, not an injury. So my mistake with Jack Steele, who is still in my squad at the moment, as you can see, feels a little bit safer with Will Day, whose role should just continue in the midfield for Hawthorn going forward. I'm going to stick with Lockie Weller. He played really, really well last week. You can see there his 1.4 diamond card got 218 GDS fantasy points for me last week. And I thought he was a little bit of a point of difference before I saw that most people in the Discord had Lockie Weller in their team. So yeah, that Sam Doherty-sized hole, I thought I was going to be a little bit sneaky there and get a few points with Lockie Weller, but it seems most people were on the finger on the pulse there. So I'm going to stick with him, and hopefully he has a good game this week. Andrew Brayshaw, I don't know what to do with this guy. I really don't. I thought he was going to be an absolute set and forget for the rest of the season, but he just has not scored anywhere near where I wanted him to be. And to be honest, the suspension this week, he could miss this week. Oh, sorry, he got the suspension off, but with the injury cloud that he's under, he might actually need a week off, to be honest. Otherwise, I'm probably going to give him one for Tom Green, as you can see on my bench. So those two there, Jack Steele and Andrew Brayshaw, still unsure. As Tom mentioned, we got the rolling lockout. I'm surely going to be using that up as we get closer to their matchups this weekend. In the forward line, Dylan Moore is another one I'm still umming and ahhing about. I don't want to give up on him just yet. 2 bad scores, but we know how high his scoring ceiling is. And someone who I'll be bringing in for him is someone like Kyle Langford on my bench, or a Cozzy Pickett, who has North Melbourne this weekend, which might be a really good matchup. But I'm still unsure, and I'll flip a coin come decision time for that. So that is my team for the week. Still a lot of decisions to be made before the matchups start. And yeah, I'm excited to see how the likes of Will Day, Lockie Weller go, because Lockie Weller was so good last week, and I'm keen to have Will Day back.
Yeah, nice. Some big calls for you still to come. On to my team. You've touched on a couple of them, Kerm, already. My 2 big changes. I've dropped Dylan Moore. So I was trying to zag last week and not play Jeremy Cameron when I knew everyone else was playing Jeremy Cameron. Yeah. I thought your Swans would do a little bit better than they did, Tom, but no, they to both you and my surprise, they were shocking, and they had a field day, and that really hurt not playing him. So I have rushed him back in there, and yeah, I know Dylan Moore is your boy, Tom, so spitefully I've dropped him and blamed it on you. The other big one that I have done is I've actually swapped out Tuke Miller. So that's no surprise, but I've sort of done a bit of a shuffle with the rarities, and I've moved Bont into my team with the silver. He comes in for Tuke Miller, but I've actually moved up Brayshaw from a silver to a gold, and I'm thinking a lot of people are starting to run away from him. So this is going to be my big gamble this week. Is I'm going to double down on Andy Brayshaw. Obviously, I hope he plays. Very keen to see if that happens, but he's too good to be down for this long. And I really, really, really am going to give it my absolute all with him. There'll be no excuses if for me saying turning around, hey, I didn't actually play Andy Brayshaw, didn't give him the best shot. And and then I can drop him after that. So yeah, very keen to see how he goes. But aside from that, moved up 5 places. So I'm feeling pretty good and I'm catching you, Tom.
You got a long way to go, buddy.
I think I've got like five spots. I think we were calculating the other day. We're down in Sydney. We were a couple 100 points different. So yeah, not much. Hopefully you keep playing a few more people like Tom Green when they're not actually starting. And yeah, I'll catch up mighty fine.
Well, it could be this week with Laird. Yeah, we'll see. Got to be on that one.
We will see. Guys, we're going to go on to our draft now. So as we said at the start, we're going to change things up. And we're after a couple of big scores from the likes of Sidebottom and Pendlebury and even Boak finding a bit of form. We wanted to do an over 31s draft, I believe is where we landed at the end. I think we started a bit higher and then we actually realized there's not a lot of old people 34 and above running around in the AFL. So we had to quickly move down that list. Guys, I've already predetermined the order. You're seeing this for the first time. I did a bit of a shuffle. Tom, how we're going to do it, we're going to snake draft it. So, Tom, you're going to have the first pick and then you're going to have the 6th pick and we're going to work like that. Rules of the game are simple. Put your fantasy hats on. Imagine you are picking up these cards from the GDS transfer market. What order are you picking them in? Only rule is they have to be 32 or above, or at the start of the year, 32 or above. So, Tom, do you want to take it away with your first pick? We don't have the NBA chimes to play. The NFL draft is tomorrow as well. So we're all NFL fans as well. So we're super excited for that. And we thought we'd get in the spirit tonight. So Tom, take it away. First pick over 31's draft. Who are you taking?
Will do. And good luck to my Patriots tomorrow in the draft. Represent.
Oh, God.
Represent. But my first pick, this is a player. It's pretty controversial. We sort of blacklisted him from the show quite a while ago. But this year, he has been fantastic, and I think it's time to get rid of that rule because Jack Siebel has been fantastic in 2023, and he's going to be my first pick for the over 31 draft, mate.
Wow.
You can't knock it though, can you? Like, as much as Carl has his words with him and whatnot, you cannot knock that pick. That is a really good pick.
Have to take him. Have to take him in that spot.
I can't knock it, but I still can go without saying his name. So he's got 12 months to do, and then we'll come back to him. So, Kerm, you've got the second pick. Who are you going?
I do, and I'm in a bit of a sticky situation. I did not want the second overall pick, but I'm going to go with the 34-year-old. So I know we can start at 32. I'm going all the way up to 34, and I was so off this guy going into the season, but he's so far averaging 103 GDS fantasy points per game. So I'm going to go with Isaac Smith out of Geelong at the second overall pick.
Choice. Yeah.
That's a good one. And someone who loves having a day out against the Swans, doesn't he, Tom?
Yeah.
It won't stop. It won't stop.
It's not going to stop, is it? Gosh. I hope Port win a lot of games. And yeah, say, what's up? What's going on? Tama.
Yeah, well, so Tama's just won one of our NRL competitions, so congratulations.
Hey,
I know
congrats.
he's just won $2,500. I think it was either the week that's just gone or the week before. So yeah, I know you'd be like, congratulations. You've gone a couple of times. Your rugby league team is looking very, very solid. So keen to see how you go this week again. Guys, I've got picks 3 and 4 together.
Back to back.
So this is good. This is where I wanted to be, and this is luckily where the lottery ended up. So we are lucky me. I'm going to go pick 3. I'm going to go Maxi Gawn purely because I know where he's at the moment with Brodie Grundy. But hey, I just want to take him on talent because out of all the players, 31 over 31, I think he's the best fantasy player. Because you put him on a team right now, he could still be the best in his position. So I think on talent alone, that's a nice, easy one. It makes it difficult, obviously, with Grundy. But even before then, I didn't think he was playing too bad. So he's someone that I would be picking up. And on my next pick as well, someone who went big, made me lose a bet, made me lose a bet. And then, I've had to go around on it with Munko's Minions, who was Mitchie Duncan. So, yeah, he's who I'm going to go with
solid.
there. I still think with his age, he still can be solid, even though he's burnt my team in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, like we said, it gets a bit slim, 31, 32 and above. I think I've seen a message there. Have I gone too old, or is Gore not made the cut? Have I done something illegal early?
It's 31s or above. So you snuck in. You snuck in. We can run with it. I would have gone Maxi Gorn there at the second overall there. But I think going forward, we'll go 31s or above. So, yeah, that should make it a little bit easier for the rest of the draft.
Let's hope my Dallas Cowboys do a lot better prep for their draft than I've done for this one tomorrow. Kerm, back to you. Who are you taking?
Yeah, we'll give it the new rules. It's opened up a lot of options here. It's put me on the spot a little bit. But I'm going to stick to my prep. I'm going to stick to my prep because despite all the options at 31, I'm going to go with a guy who made his season debut last week, and he's not the community's favorite right now. It's Aaron Hall. And I know that he's injury prone, but he's proven in the VFL this year, and he's proven in the past, not even that long ago, a couple of seasons ago, he finished as the number one defender in the league for GDS scoring. Aaron Hall is a ball magnet, and he's going to be until he decides he's not ready to be. So I'm going to select him at the second overall pick here.
That's a good one.
I like Hall.
If he stays healthy, he's very good.
He is. That's just the biggest thing. It's his health. There's no denying how good of a footy player he is. It is just his health.
Tom, we'll throw to you. You have back-to-back picks here at 6 and 7. What are you doing?
Yes. Now I get the back-to-back. As you said, the cards fell in your favor before. Now they're straight over to me. I'm going to go with someone I would consider my boy, someone that is an absolute legend, a star of the game. Look up to this guy, Patrick Dangerfield, Mr. Danger. He is way too good of a player to not be selected, so I just have to take him at that spot.
Good one.
After that, though, I got a couple options looking in front of me. I've got another player who I'd consider a favorite, but I'm going to go, I think, with a bit of a safer bet. This midfield is stacked, but this guy is still shining. It's Scott Pendlebury from the Magpies. So I'll take him with that next pick, and that's my back-to-back selections.
You can play.
Yeah, I'm glad he went. I was hoping he went a little bit early, but he was the reason we wanted to do this because he is so good. You forget how old he is because when he gets the football, he just looks like he hasn't aged in 10 years. He's such a good footballer, and he could be knocking on the doors of a lot of fantasy teams still. So if you had his legend card, there would be a conversation, Kerm, whether he gets into that team as stacked as yours is looking. So, yeah. What about you? What are you doing at pick 8?
There's a few options here. I can't lie. Rory Sloane's come back into good form. You got the likes of Zach Tui, Ed Kerno can still score big. Taylor Walker even had a big score on the weekend, but I'm going to stick to the 32-year-olds, and I don't like it again because he is injury prone. You can call my draft here the injury prone draft. But it's Luke Shuey from the West Coast Eagles. He still has a little bit of fantasy nous about him. He can still score well. If he can get some luck and some health, his role is like rock solid. And we saw it as early as round 1 this season, where he scored 140 GDS fantasy points straight off the bat, like it was nothing. And then unfortunately, with a couple of injuries throughout games, his average has gone down to around that 80 mark. But that's not the player he is. So I'll take Luke Shuey, put some faith in him, because his midfield role is so solid when he is healthy again. I'm pretty happy with that pick here in the 3rd round.
It's ironic, isn't it? All of these older people have some injury issues late in their career. Like expected. These guys, they've been doing their thing for a very long time. So many good players to pick from.
Sorry, I still have myself on mute. Yes, spot on there, Tom. When you can't get to this age and not have injury question marks over yourself.
I have injury problems, and I'm in my 20s still, so I don't blame him, mate. I don't blame him at all.
Pick 9. I'm so stoked this guy's still on the board. I'm going to take Travis Boak because I'm looking ahead, and I think this guy is going to have forward status in GameDay Squad next year, the way he's going. And I think while he's not going to be valuable again as a midfielder, him as a forward next year could potentially, as a forward listed player, could be someone that realistically actually breaks into your team. So yeah, very happy with that. And of course I want to get my Port boys in there, and someone that I've just got to take him because he's arguably the GOAT, Dusty Martin. He's on the board. I'm going to take
No.
him. I know Tom wants him, but I'm going to take him because he can still have that game where if he's in your team, he could blow it away. Maybe not the biggest fantasy scorer, but I can't have Dustin Martin sit on the board and not take him here. So he'll be my final pick.
Yeah, that's a pick out of respect more than anything. But you can't knock it again. He still has the ability to score well, and his ceiling's so big. So yeah, with my last pick here, I'm going to go with someone who has a bit of a higher ceiling as well, but is known to have a pretty disgusting floor, and it's Dane Zorko out of the Brisbane Lions, who is currently averaging 102 GDS fantasy points, which I think not many people are actually talking about enough. So he has the ability, as I said, to go 130 plus, but also has the ability to absolutely kill your week. So you take him with a grain of salt. He is a matchup player. But in the fourth round, I think at 102 GDS average, that is a good pick.
Yeah.
He didn't even cross my draft board. My scouts have missed him.
Oh,
yeah.
Someone's got to get the sack.
Someone, yes. Tom, you got the final pick. Take it away. Over 31's draft and Max Gorn. Who are you picking?
Last pick. I think I go back to the Pies. We spoke about him and how he had a really good clash on Anzac Day. It's still side bottom. He's nearly at that 100 GDS average this season. Love what I see from him so far. And couple good players left. I'll tell you what, I reckon there's a couple snubs, but like, you know, can only pick so many players, unfortunately. And that's where, that's how it fell.
Yeah, for me, I feel bad picking Max Gorn. So next up on my board would have been Charlie Dixon. So you can take Max Gorn off my board and I'll pick him there. So let us know who you think's won that over 31's draft. And is there someone that potentially all of our scouts have missed that you would want to pick up in your Game Day Squad team? Tom, I believe we're going to go to you now. We're going to go onto our favorite game of buy, sell, sell. And this is where everyone listening along can actually get involved because we have a chance to put some cards on the transfer market for only 1 cent. Do you want to talk everyone through it, Tom?
Yep. So because we don't have a guest this week, normally would work over the guest. This week, what we're going to do is we're going to open one three times common pack each. We'll start from the top. So Callum, we might go you, myself, then Kerm. Same rules, buy, sell, sell. You'll only be able to keep one of these players, which I'll be giving you after. The other 2 players inside of that pack are going to go for a cent. We had some fantastic players hit the transfer market last week, courtesy, unfortunately, of my account. So I have to see them all go out for a cent. It hurts. It hurts. We had the likes of Matty Rowell.
Gold Matty Rowell on the transfer market for a cent. Absolute steal.
That is a steal.
So, without further ado, I reckon we just get into it because I'm really hoping for some good pulls here. Callum, starting off with you, mate.
So I'm up first.
Sure are.
Who we got? Oh, easy.
Making his debut this weekend. Oh, okay.
Oh, easy. I am going to take, no surprises here, I'm going to go Darcy Parish. I've never sthink the roller coaster of Tom watching this guy's fantasy performance on Anzac Day, where you needed a big score from him, and I think he was absolutely dudding it up. We weren't watching the game; we were at the rugby league with Game Day Squad, and then somehow he scored 50 points in 10 minutes. I don't know how he did it, but I know you were pretty happy about it, Tom.
Yeah, we were. We're actually guessing that he was chipping and chasing to himself down the sideline because unfortunately we couldn't watch it. But yeah, I definitely went back and looked at his game. Man, he was dominant in that last quarter.
So
but I think there was a player who was a little bit better in that last quarter, and that's Nick Dacos. And how fantastic was he getting that win for the Pies?
Yeah, now that you've brought him up, can I just put this out there? Is Nick Dacos the best player in the league? You got the likes of Jeremy Cameron. We've spoken
best player,
best
fantasy asset.
No, best player in the league. We've spoken a ton about Jeremy Cameron, a ton about Clayton Oliver, and rightfully so, right? Those guys are insane. But Nick Dacos now surely has to be in the discussion amongst those two, I think, for the best player in the league.
He has to be for sure. And I'll tell you what, when he really takes his game to the next level is when he's kicking goals. He had 2 goals on the weekend. Like, he already gets so many disposals, but when you're hitting the scoreboard with that as well, then I don't think you can make an argument. That's just, if he can do that more consistently as the season goes on, then I think he's really going to separate himself from those likes of the other names you just mentioned, the Olivers. Well, we'll see. Yeah, he's definitely there. He's right there.
So good, man. He is so good.
I'm not there with him yet.
Really?
I'd still be taking Oliver. I'd still be taking Cameron. I'd still be taking Petrarca.
Really?
There's
Wow.
still a whole bunch of players. If we're talking win your premiership, who you're building your team around, he's going to be very, very good. And he might be the number one dynasty asset in Game Day Squad. But I don't think he's the best AFL player in the competition right now. And I don't know if he's very good. I don't know if he'd be in a top 5.
Wow, really?
It's surprising. Let us know what you guys think in the chat. Who's following
Go
along?
through it. Go through it off the top of the head. The few I said plus Bontempelli, and then I don't know who that fifth person might be without thinking about it. But there's 4 names that I came off the top of my head.
What about like Jordan Dawson? Surely he's top of the
Dawson's
league.
a
Stephen
shout.
May. If you're trying to win a premiership, you're taking Stephen May or Nick Dacos.
Well, I think Dacos could almost take him there this year. And I don't think that's too of an outlandish thing to say. Like, they're second on the ladder now, and he is playing out of his skin. I genuinely think they're a premiership favourite right now. You can say the likes of, the Demons, obviously the Saints are playing well as well. But Dacos is just...
Next level, man.
It's definitely
Next
a question, and Darcy's chimed in there in the chat saying that he would play any player would pick Dacos, but to win a grand final, he would pick the likes of Jeremy Cameron, which, fair enough after last year. Isn't that right? You know all about that one, Tom. But yeah, let us know, following along, wherever you're listening, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, let us know who you actually think is the best player in the competition. And if it's not Nick Dacos, what number would you have him at?
Yeah.
Tom, who's got next pack?
It is me.
Let's go, Tom.
Let's get into it. This one's been brewing a little bit with that conversation. Hope we can get some heat out of this. Warple, Hayes.
Oh, that's terrible. That's
not a good pack, Tom.
It's not a good pack. From memory, though, is Warple not Hef's boy? He's Hef's guy. So I think I might follow in his footsteps. I'm going that gold Warple.
Yeah.
Young team. If someone's going to work their way into their respective teams in that list right now, Warple's got the best chance to score. So going to go with him. Long term should be good as well.
Yeah, that's a rough pack.
Let's move past that. Gosh, I didn't get the parish. I could use a parish as well. Kerm.
Oh, no animation again.
Which probably is not going to help your team. Let's be honest. We've all seen how good that thing is, but
Hewitt.
Simpkin.
Oh, I like that.
Ross.
And Jack
that's
Ross.
easy. That's easy. It's all been too easy this week.
Yeah, you got to go Jai Simpkin there. He is a star. He's still young. I think he's only, 24, 25. And his pairing with LDU at the moment is, when they're both healthy, is pretty good. So, yeah, I'll be taking Jai Simpkin there and running, I think.
Yeah, that's the choice, right? You really can't go anyone else there. Simpkin's been really good this season as well. He's been winning a ton of clearances if you watch the North games. But unfortunately, that'll wrap it up. Not too many good players hitting the transfer market, but they're only a cent anyway. So really, all of them are good players.
Well, Tom, I'm going to double down because that was terrible. And I feel bad that they're the cards that we're going to be putting on the market. So I've actually got my prize pack from finishing top 20 this week.
Hey.
And I'm going to make it that I can only keep one of these players. The rest is going out to people following along and listening here. So let's spice it up a little bit. My team, I'm already catching Tom. So make sure that I reckon how we do it like this.
No. I don't want this as an excuse long term in the season.
No.
Like, I have to give away 8 players, but mate, this is your call, brother. But we're
going to change it up. We're going to change it up a little bit differently. So Kerm, if you're watching along, anyone watching along or listening along, let us know below if you would like one of these players here. Put your hand up. Let us know. Kerm, you're going to be calling out who in the chat the card is actually going to be to. And then at the end of the show, we'll find that person and give them theirs. Only caveat is there's one that I get to claim myself. So I think if someone wants to comment now saying they want one and I come over the top of you, I'm sorry. So get in there, Kerm. You're in charge early. Hopefully we get the good animation. I'm not even going to be scrolling over the top of it. So you can't even see. So first pack, who are you giving away to, Kerm? You're going to keep track of this.
We'll give Darcy. Darcy Blum's been unreal in the chat so far, so we'll give him one.
Sweet. You keep note of this on the way down and whose card's going to be who, because obviously
Yeah.
I'm going to have to steal one at the end. Looks like we've got a platinum Hannon. Or
Platinum Hannon.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Darcy.
I'm hoping that's yours, Darcy. I'm hoping that's yours, and that we get some better ones that we're going to be seeing come through. Who we got next? Oh, hopefully didn't give that away. Who you giving it away next to, Kerm?
Cameron Cox.
Cameron Cox. All right, we've got a platinum Bergman. Oh, I do like Miles Bergman, but you could probably have him. You could probably have him. Who we got third?
Chris Dixon.
Chris Dixon. Here we go.
Get these comments coming in.
Cool. Oh, this is terrible pack. I feel better about it knowing that I'm giving it away. I'm giving it away. Who we got next?
That's okay. Minnow 15.
Minnow 15. Platinum card for you. Who have we got? Starcevic.
Let's just take a breather. Let's get some good energies in the chat.
Yeah. This has been rough. This has been really rough.
This has been not very good so far. Like, we need some. Yeah, we
have to know. Big animation is at least a diamond. Who knows? Could be a legend in the pack.
If there's a legend in the pack, then I'm stealing it. Fair warning. Who we got next, Kerm?
Rarest Thoughts.
Rarest Thoughts. Platinum. Roscoe.
Oh, this is bad.
Maybe I will be stealing that Bergman.
At this rate, I think you are, mate. I think you are. Goodness.
What do we got next?
Choose dirt.
Choose dirt.
Hopefully this isn't dirt. Oh, it's
this is the diamond. Oh.
We've got a diamond here for you, mate. Oh, Neil, it's so bad.
It's not the Neil you want. I'm not sure you even want any Neil right now, but that is the less valuable one.
Yes.
Do we still have more people?
We do. Symphonizer.
You've got a platinum coming up. Another Hannon.
Oh, it goes from bad to worse. Symphonizer.
Early submission for pack of the week for next Monday's show. Tom, what do you think? Am I going to be a lock for it?
If it's worse pack, maybe.
Who's got this platinum?
Dos.
This is coming to you, mate. Walters. Oh no. No.
It could finish with a bang here, but if you do, then it might be going to you. That's the problem for everyone listening along, watching along.
Do we have one more there, Kerm?
We do. We can go with Brendan here.
Brendan, all yours. It's another platinum.
Come on.
It's rough. It's darling. I'm so sorry, guys.
That is an offensive pack. And this is a reflection of the platform. This is bad.
I'm glad that that is the pack that I've chosen to do this on the fly. I'm sorry, guys. If you don't want your player that you've now been assigned, because I don't think I want any of them, you can all have it. I actually don't want any of them. You can all keep it.
At least the community can see that the pack luck runs through everybody, not just the public. So it is us opening these packs as well.
Yeah, terrible. I'll get off all that. I'll make sure Kerm's got everyone's details. They will be in touch to give you your card. So yeah, apologies. Everyone's had to sit through that. Tom, talk to us about the Discord competition, because if you submit a pack and it is that bad, sometimes there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, there can be a light at the end of the tunnel, and this is a good way to win a pack. And all you have to do is join our Discord. Everyone who's watching along, it is free. So as we said before, we've got all of our links down below and on our page. Just get in there. And we have a Discord competition. And what we ask from all of you is that each round we ask for the highest scoring player. If you can guess that correctly, you got a 3 times common player pack coming your way on the House of GameDay Squad. Additionally, if you can guess the exact score that player has as well for the week, we chuck in a bonus 3 times player rare pack. As I said before, get in the competitions tab on the Discord, put in your guess, and good luck.
Awesome. And I appreciate everyone in the comments saying respect for that. But yeah, no, when it's the packs that terrible, it's nice and easy to do. So yeah, Kerm, I believe you got the mailbag.
I do. We'll kick it off straight away, Tom. I'll throw the first question at you here. It's from the Mighty Hoss. All of these questions, by the way, come from the Discord. Discord channels. We love interacting because we get to talk to you guys who play Game Day Squad every day. So, yeah, as I said, Tom, this first question comes to you. It's from the Mighty Hoss, and it says, is it too early to start Jack Steele? After last week, he's a little bit nervous because he's such a gun, but he underperformed so hard coming off of injury. Is it too early to start him again this week?
Great question, the Mighty Hoss. This is a tough one, right? Because Jack Steele's situation isn't like the same as the likes of like Mitch Duncan. Like he's had a ripper preseason. He's fit. He's ready to go. He's just broken his shoulder. So for me, honestly, it depends on your team depth. Like if you're going to replace Jack Steele with a player like Bontempelli or a Petrarca, you know, the likes of these type of players, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't be taking the risk this week. But if you don't have a solid backup option and you want to take that punt, like Jack Steele when he's on is a top 10 midfielder. You could even say top 5 midfielder in the league. So it will be a bit of a risk this week. It depends on your depth, but that'll be my advice to you. If you've got another option, if you feel like it's a bit safer with a higher floor, go with it.
Yeah, and he's got Cal's Port Adelaide this week, so it'll be bittersweet if he does go off, I'd imagine. But moving on to Cal, this is from D-Sync. He says, do you think going all in with Carlton as your midfield this week is a good idea considering they're versing Wet Toast? I liked that one, D-Sync. Akers, Chera, Cripps and Walsh, or is that a tad excessive? They put up some massive numbers last week against St Kilda.
Who have they got this week? They got West Coast.
Yeah, they got West Coast. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is attractive because they've got such a nice midfield. But I was thinking similar with Port last week, and it just didn't eventuate. Like I played a couple of extras. I played Butters thinking they would go big. And yes, Rosie had a big day. But just because they're going to have a good day doesn't mean that they're all going to have a good day. But it depends what you're going for. If you're not looking at the seasonal competition and you want to have a crack at the weekly and you think, hey, what's the best? You know, let's zag when everyone's zigging. Then yeah, why not do it? Because they could have a massive day and you'd come out on top. But me personally, for the seasonal competition, I think it's too many eggs in one basket. And I'd much rather go out and get the best player from every team as opposed to going and picking 3 or 4 from one.
There you go. You heard it from the man himself, D-Sync. But moving on, Tom, there were a ton of Rory Laird injury cloud questions coming in the Discord. And this one's from Danny D87. And he says, with Laird under an injury cloud, if he's named in the Adelaide squad, would you take your chances playing him this week? Obviously, there's a rolling lockout, but Adelaide, unfortunately, have the last game of the round. So is it worth replacing him with another Adelaide or Collingwood midfielder if he's laid out, or would you just avoid it altogether?
Another great question. And honestly, I currently have him inside of my midfield. So this is something that I'm also thinking of as well. So I currently have him going for round 7, but I'm going to be keeping a close eye on the Crows run-throughs before the game. So over the weekend, they're going to have a little run around, and I want to read up on how he's looking. Is he looking fit? So the short answer is I don't have a definitive answer for this question, but if Laird is given the green light to play on the weekend, he's a must start. But as you mentioned, it is going to be the last game of the round, so you might want to have a backup option. And I don't know if Keys is going to be that guy. So you might need to look elsewhere other than Ben Keys.
Speaking about green lights, guys, do you want to hear some breaking news? We've had a big name thrown back into a team this week. Ooh. And I want to throw it to you guys. I'm taking over the mailbag, guys.
All right, lay it on me. Go on. I like this. Improv.
Doherty's been named for the Blues.
Does
he come back into your team? Live reaction. Go. Does he come back into your team?
No brainer. Yep. Give me Doherty.
So, yeah.
Against West Coast. There's another one. I think that answers the question before about the Blues.
Wow, he's been brought back this quick.
And that is quick. I'll tell you what, that is really quick. We saw Mitch Duncan's game against West Coast playing a very similar role to what Doherty would play. I think he had 150 for the day, if I'm not mistaken. So
he still had 2 to 4 weeks to come back when I read today on the injury update reports. That is insane.
Lock in your answers. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm bringing him back. Is Adam Sard playing as well?
doesn't matter because you guys, we've got our Game Day Squad. We've got our Game Day Squad Instagram page, but we've also got our Game Day Squad Aussie Rules page, which we've started up and running again this week. So if you're not following that one and you are here, Aussie Rules, make sure you jump and follow that because it's going to be Game Day Squad Aussie Rules specific content. We put out a post the other day. What did we learn from the round? And I said, guys, I got absolutely burnt by bringing back. Who was it too early? Jack Steele.
Steele.
Said never again. You guys aren't learning from my mistakes. You're going to throw them straight back in there. Very keen to see it. I can't write on a Monday that I've rushed someone back too early and I've learned from. I'm going to learn from that mistake, and then 3 days later go back on it. Even
Switch
if it is Doherty.
Well, yeah, you can battle that moral battle while I stick him into my squad right now. I think
Mason Redmond Bronze is out of the lineup. Doherty is coming straight in for me. That's the exact sub that's being made.
Love it. Well, you should be listening to me, guys, because I am running the table here of Lock of the Round. I'm going to go for the rest of the season on top, undefeated, just like last year. And as you guys know, Lock of the Round, each week we lock in a player and say what score they're going to get at an absolute minimum. If they hit or go above that score, then we get that many points. If they miss it, we get a 0. So you can see I'm on top there at the moment. We've got our Game Day Squad community has dropped down to 3rd place. Tom, after a big week, you're up into 2nd, but Kerm is still there in 4th. So on our Monday show, I locked in Rowan Marshall for 115. I know Kerm locked in for 120, I think, last week and just missed. So I'm really trying to rub salt in those wounds of you picking Marshall to go against my power, and you've gone for Sammy Walsh. I wonder if you're going to change that at all now Doherty has come back in. Any changes to that?
No, I can't. Sammy Walsh is my boy. I love him to death. I love watching him. So I've stuck with him on Monday, and I'm gonna ride him out for the rest of the week.
Yeah, fair. Tom, before we get yours, I want to submit our community question, our community lock it around this week. And this comes from Dacos, who was meant to be joining the show this afternoon, but just couldn't make it with work. So he's locked in on behalf of the community, Treloar for 115 points. I believe they're playing Adelaide in that final game. So that's what the community is offering up. Tom, you weren't there on Monday. You were still out in hiding after your Swans performance. What are you going to lock in?
Well, let me talk about the last one. Last week, got back on track, as you mentioned. We've been on a bit of a dry spell. I took some risks, and risks can pay off, and that did with Taranto, 136 points. That's why Callum's guessed one more than me, but that margin is closing. He plays it way too safe every week. I won't be doing the same this week. What am I going to do? I was looking at the possibilities. There's a lot at the start of the season. I'm going to double down on a player that I put into my lineup last week in my defenders, and that's Lockie Weller. I'm locking him in, for 123 Game Day Squad fantasy points. They're versing the Richmond Tigers. It's going to be a tough battle for the Suns, and Lockie Weller's going to need to get his hands on the footy for the Suns on the weekend. So, yeah, I'm going with him. I think it's a good time of the season with Took out that if I ever am going to play the card, it's now, so I'm going to do it.
I don't hate that. Obviously, I'm a Suns fan, so I'm never going to hate it, but I don't hate it.
You just like when Suns are mentioned. Because
it is. It does fill my heart up a little bit.
Anything sort of positive about the Suns, you're all over it. Guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for everyone who has been joining us, or who has joined us. For those who have won those packs, or those players, I should say, we'll be in touch with the details. Sorry that they weren't better than what they are. Appreciate everyone following along, and appreciate everyone who's contributed and asked questions along the way. If there is questions you still have and you want answered, jump on over to our Discord page. We'll all be there. We will answer anything from your Game Day Squad Aussie Rules questions all the way to the stuff about the platform and how we're going. Don't be afraid, reach out. But appreciate you both jumping on. We'll see you guys again on our Monday show when we'll review round 7. But until then, enjoy your weekend of footy, guys. Thank you.